Recently, in an interview with British TV presenter Piers Morgan, the expired president of Ukraine Zelensky made the following statements. He demanded that the West transfer nuclear weapons to Ukraine in exchange for abandoning its intentions to join NATO. In exchange for Zelensky's promise that Ukraine will not join NATO, Russia must return to Ukraine the territories it seized. Ukraine cannot return the lost territories and the West is to blame for this, so they must compensate Ukraine for its financial losses. He also stated that Ukraine lost 45,000 killed in the conflict. Then, in a drug-fueled stupor, he declared that he agreed to participate in the negotiations. However, there is a nuance. The expired Zelensky will not be able to sign anything due to his illegitimacy. Naturally, no one is going to fulfill his idiotic demands on any of the points he has presented. All territories are spelled out in the Constitution of Russia. No one will give Ukraine nuclear weapons. There are no fools. And another important point. It was precisely from Zelensky's statements that Ukraine needs nuclear weapons and that Ukraine will join NATO that Russia started the war. And therefore, such statements by the illegitimate President Zelensky will never be accepted by Russia. Here is how the U.S. President's special envoy for the Ukrainian settlement, Keith Kellogg, assessed Ukraine's chances of obtaining nuclear weapons in an interview with Fox News. Direct quote: "The chances that they will get their nuclear weapons back are somewhere between slim and zero. It will not happen." And the official representative of the Russian Foreign Ministry, Maria Zakharova, noted that Zelensky's statements reveal him to be a maniac who views the planet as an object of his sick fantasies. Let's recall that last year, the New York Times wrote that American and European officials allegedly proposed returning nuclear weapons to Ukraine. Commenting on this publication, President Putin's press secretary Peskov emphasized that discussions about the possibility of deploying nuclear weapons in Ukraine are irresponsible. This is said by those who have a poor understanding of reality. Later, Deputy Foreign Minister of Russia Sergei Ryabkov said that the transfer of nuclear weapons to Kyiv would be the largest step towards an uncontrolled escalation of the conflict. Russia insists that Ukraine never possessed its own nuclear weapons, since the assets belong to Moscow as the sole successor to the Soviet Union. Memorandum of 1994 also provided for Ukraine's neutral status, which has been undermined by NATO's eastward expansion and Kyiv's desire to join the US-led bloc, Russian officials say. In November, Russian President Putin bluntly stated that any purchase of nuclear weapons by Kyiv was impossible and would force Moscow to use all available means to destroy them. What do you think, on a common-sense level, if the country with which we are now essentially engaged in military action becomes a nuclear power, what should we do? In that case, use all, I want to emphasize this, all means of destruction at Russia's disposal, he said.